that they would represent God in their practices. And so what I thought I would do is try to present some information and use the Bible to describe the church. Because it's important that we understand. A name is important. How many agree that a name is important? Okay. I was talking with a guy one time and he said, no, it's not that important. I said, oh, wait, it's not? He said, no. I said, well, okay, then tomorrow morning I want you to go down to payroll and tell them to change the name on that paycheck to my name. It's Steve Chambers, put it right in the check. He said, well, wait. I said, no, but you said a name's not important. Then a name must be important. Then a name is important. And the church has a name. The church has a name. So the question we're going to ask ourselves this morning is, what is the church? So let's see if we can drill down a little bit and see what this church of Christ in the Bible is right here. Okay, so see that little of right there? You see there's a relationship between the two parts of that sentence right there. So I looked it up in Mr. Webster's dictionary, and it says it's a preposition that indicates belonging to or possession, relationship between two items, right? So when we see Jesus saying to Peter in Matthew 16, upon this rock I will build my church. So a rock in a church, the rock meant his confession. It wasn't Peter. The church was not built on Peter. It was built on the fact that he answered Christ a certain way. Jesus asked him, who do you say that I am? And he said, you are the Christ, the Son of the living God. What does Jesus say? That's right. My God told you that. He revealed that to you. And your name is Peter. And upon the rock of confession, not Peter, the church we built. Because the church couldn't be built on Peter. It doesn't have his name. We're going to find that out later, right? So we see right here that the church belongs to Christ, right? According to Mr. Webster's dictionary, it shows belonging or possession, right? We'll find out in the passage in 1 Timothy, Paul writes to Timothy in his first letter, he says it's described as the house of God, the pillar and ground of the truth. Now, a house is where people dwell, right? It's a dwelling place. So the church is a dwelling place, right? And it's a pillar and ground. What does a pillar do? It supports the whole building, right? And the ground is the foundation, correct? So it's of what? The truth. So where do we find truth? If we want to find out about truth in religion, we find it in the Bible. Can we find it in other places? Yes, you can find truth in other places. The question is, how is it written and how is it practiced? Right? So that's the question. So if you're going to sit down and talk with your friends, your family, your neighbors, just ask, what is the practice? Okay, what is the practice? And the Hebrew writer calls this church the general assembly of the firstborn.